I knew that there was love and support in that warm atmosphere. However, as I got older and I started to move out of my home, I realized that I was focusing so much more on my own independent priorities that I forgot about the atmosphere that was provided for me. All the resources that my parents provided me made me into the man I am today. Good morning, judges. My name is Veet Sampath Kumar, and these are my teammates,
Lisa Saxover, Julie Shaw.
and we are here today to ensure and provide you with a strategy that makes sure that the children of BSM come back to the loving atmosphere of the BSM Foundation. So we'll go through a quick agenda. So we'll go through our mandate. After reading the case, we found out that there was clear objectives that we need to accomplish. We'll then go over our analysis, so a consumer and customer relationship analysis, as well as company analysis, and then the strategy, so what we find will be the best course of action for BSM, and then how we can implement that strategy, and then finally risks and mitigations that you should look to see. So going over the mandate, we find that we should create a relationship strategy that will allow the foundations to create graduates into donors and turn current donors into loyal donors. So we will do this by inspiring alumni to become donors. We'll also increase transparency, and then finally we're going to increase the yearly donations of BSM Foundation.
Look before you leap. It's definitely a quote that I've taken with myself over the years that I've learned from my parents and as well as my schooling. And nothing can be more true than, of course, in business. So before we go into our strategy, we want to first go over a couple key points in regards to the foundation. And of course, this will ultimately provide the reasons behind our strategy. So we'll first start with our company analysis. So currently you have online and on-site teams. Now this is a great strength for you. You have a lot of different options and a lot of different tools at your disposal to really put your foundation out there and get noticed. The second point is that you have a telemarketing team. Now this is one of your great strengths, although it is a traditional advertising method, is very strong in getting your word out there and getting those donations in. Now currently you have 70,000 alumni from the school. Now this is a wide variety of people who you can go to ask for donations, to come back to their school and support where they learned a lot. In regards to your weaknesses right now, your telemarketing campaign is a traditional method, so it isn't quite successful across all varieties of different alumni. Now also, you have quite a weakness in regards to new graduates. They know their alumni association is there, but in terms of their attitude and their awareness, it's quite low right now. Now in regards to your opportunities, you have a wide variety of campaigns. You don't just have the telemarketing campaign that I mentioned before, you also have the online aspect, and of course you have events. So you have various different modes of ways to get donations, which you can leverage and take advantage of. And of course you have experience in all of these areas. And also you have the Scholarship Foundation. Now that is a great opportunity not only to entice your current students at the school, but of course the graduates who may have had a scholarship that helped them get through school. Now in terms of your weaknesses here, or threats I should say, is current charities. Now there's various different charities that people are donating to, the Cancer Society and such. So the object here we want to focus is not just getting attention away from those charities, but of course looking how you can. So we have a few takeaways that we want to take away from this analysis. So we really want to focus on donation transparency, really getting that point across of what exactly you're doing with those donations. So not only are you informing your current alumni, but also the soon-to-be alumni of how they can help out in giving back to their school when they graduate. We also want to leverage your resources. As I mentioned, you have a wide variety of resources in terms of your staff and as well where you are situated currently. So you have those opportunities to really increase those mediums right now. And of course, working with current students, because ultimately they will be the alumni someday who will be giving back to your school. Now, our second analysis will really focus on donations, really analyzing where the situation you are right now. So currently, there is a high lack of donation knowledge. Once someone donates, where exactly is their donation going? Are they seeing where it is being put? Secondly, 70% of your donations are under $50. Now this is a huge area where you can really focus on not only increasing the number of donations that you're getting, but of course the amount of donations that you're getting. And the third point we really want to highlight here is that in regards to your donations, the highest is just one donation. So, of course, not only just focusing on increasing the amount of those donations, but also increasing together the number of donations. So we have three takeaways from this analysis here. We want to really increase communication with alumni. So again, talk donations, where they're going, how they're really benefiting the schooling where they learned. Our second takeaway here is, of course, increasing that donation amount, really getting people motivated to contribute more than $50. And lastly, to increase repeat donations. Now, it's been said that once a person has donated at least 3 times, they're more likely to be a higher loyal donator. Now, our last analysis here, we'll look at the consumer relations analysis, who is currently donating. In this analysis, we really wanted to focus on the people who aren't donating quite actively, as you do have a very high established loyal donators currently. So we're just going to focus here on who can we really speak to the most. So our first aspect here is really just focusing on the student. So who's currently at your school? Do they have much leverage in terms of giving back to the school? Donation per year is around $20, but they do have a high loyalty. They're very currently involved in the school. They're in community events. They're as well. They're in the clubs. In terms of their income, this is low. They are a student. They don't have a lot of time to work. In terms of their age, they're around the 18 to 25 age category. Their proximity in school, as I already mentioned, is low and giving back to their school through volunteering and events. And their donation right now the rate is currently 0 to 1. Now, our second group looked at the new generation, so those very recent graduates. So their current donation is averaging about $50. Their loyalty is kind of winged, so it is becoming fairly low as they left their school. They're kind of focusing on life. They're getting their career out there. In terms of their income, it's low to mid, so they're starting to just gain that income there. Their age here is around 22 to 30 years of age, and their proximity in school is very active. So although they're focusing mostly on their life, they are paying attention to what's going on, still wanting to have that connection there. And their donation rate 1. Now, in terms of your skeptical elite, now these are just past the recent graduates, but they're really focusing on where their money is going, they're really focusing on budgeting. So their average donation is fairly similar to new generation, $50. Their loyalty is low, similar to new generation. They're focusing on their new life, kind of forgetting a little bit of the aspects of their school life. Their income here is a little higher. They've been working for a few years, so in the mid to high range. Their proximity in school, they're very active. They've had that experience of working with the clubs and being involved in the school. And their donation rate here is a little higher, around 1 to 2. And our last group we want to look at here is the high potential, those that have the income to really get those donations in there. So their average donation here is about $100, and their loyalty is high. So this is your high established group here that you've already got kind of most of your focus on. Now, in terms of their income, it is mid to high. Again, earning for about 5 to 10 years. Proximity in school, they were very active in their school life again. And their donation rate here is 3+. So our main takeaway from this is to really focus on that skeptical elite. You have a wide range of people within that age category, and a third donation, which will make them very loyal donators to your school. And now I will pass the presentation off to Lisa, who will go into our strategy.
Before we dive into the strategy, we really want to nurture the relationship that we've built with these alumni through their schooling. We want to work with them and let them know where we're at with their donations, what we're going to do with their donations, and continuing that rapport that we've built up over the years with them while they were in school. So first, we want to get to know them, get reacquainted with who this alumni has become and what they're doing with their life now that they've moved past our building and moved on to a new life that they're starting. Next, we want to increase that transparency again, letting them know what we're doing with the money, where the money's going to go, and how it's going to affect them in the future as well. And we want to increase the number of events that we are putting on every year. We want to increase the amount of face time that we have with them and give us that opportunity to express how much they mean to us and where their money is going to go and how we are going to divide that money up into our current locations. First in the strategy, getting to know them. Why do we want to do this? This will allow us to target the alumni who could potentially become those very loyal customers and make us understand what they want from us, as well as how we can provide that to them. We want to provide mutual benefits through networking events so they can meet other alumni who are in similar situations, similar career paths, so they can again continue those networking events that they became so familiar with in the school and continuing that into their career life. Through the database updates, right now there is some infrequencies in the database that you have. We want to keep updating that profile that we have with them on our online database through checking their LinkedIn accounts, Googling them, seeing if they've changed jobs, seeing where they're at, and making sure that our database is as accurate as it can possibly be. Next, we want to single out certain individuals and have individual meetings with them, getting in touch with them, whether it's on the phone or going out to coffee with them and just catching up with them, letting them know that we're always here for them. Whatever they need, we can hopefully provide it, career advice, or just that, again, reminding them where they came from and that we still do care about where they are in their life. We want to improve our telemarketing interactions as well. Right now we have students doing the calls and they have a script. We want to make sure the students who are doing the calls come from the same background as them. So if you're calling a marketing professional, have someone in the marketing section of school contact them. So they have that base already. The alumni can give them advice if the student is looking for advice, and they can just have that general conversation that they know similar things and they're going similar places in their life. Moving on to increasing transparency. Where are the donations going? A lot of people are skeptical, don't know where the money's going. What's going to be done with it? Is it really going to a benefit that they support? We want to make sure that everyone knows what the money's going to, allowing them to pick specifically what certain aspect of their donation, where the donation is building. They get to pick that building that they want to fund. If they want to fund a scholarship, it's open and it's an option for them to fund a scholarship. This will increase donation likelihood because people like to know where their money's going. They don't want to blindly give you money and never hear about it again. And how are we going to update these customers? Through direct mail, call to action, the telemarketing, as well as the Facebook pages and the other place. Making sure those are up to date and that you're keeping your donors informed of where their money's going, which will make them more likely to donate again in the future. We want to also create featured alumni, featured donors, people who are making a difference in the community. We want to target them and let other donors know what this person is doing. Again, connecting them to other donors and making them feel like it's a family again. We want to always create that feel that we're one big happy family, because we are. They grew up here and we want to keep reminding them of where they came from. Next, moving on to events. We've already had a couple networking events, major ones, between the new grad to the 35 range. We want to focus on that 35 range to 55 range because right now that's a big gap, and where the skepticals are invited to these events and they're getting recognized as who they have become and what they have accomplished. So we also want to support charities as well. We are already connected to charities, so we want to keep increasing that. Again, that will increase donations because part of these donations can go towards charities. So it's a charity that they believe in and they have grown up donating to through school and then past school again. This will hopefully inspire new donors who come to these events because they see the great atmosphere that we have created. How are we going to do this? We're going to create a gala that we recognize the top donors of the year, the top scholarship recipients. Everyone know how great of a school we are and how great of a community we are. How effective our networking events can be, and connecting students all the way up to the older generation who are our loyal donors, connecting them in one event so they can see where they could become in the future. If you're a student, you can envision yourself being that next generation of great donors and great believers. So within this gala, we want to have a live auction and a silent auction as well to again increase the donation amount and increase everyone at this event. We also want to partner with one of your key charities that will allow them to donate to a charity they love through the silent auction, as well as giving back to the school by buying tickets and going to the event itself. Next, I'll pass it off to Denise for the implementation.
So of course, proper implementation. We decided to split our strategy into 3 different sections: the planning phase, the execution phase, and finally, the evaluation phase. So in the planning phase, it's going to take approximately 3 months. And what we basically decided to do was we really want to, so it's integral that we train our employees to make sure that they are saying the right script to the employees through telephone conversation. We also need to make sure that we hire an additional employee to make sure that he can do the database updates. So it's of course critical that these databases are being updated because some have not been updated for the past year or so. So any database that's not been updated for the past 12 months needs immediate update through either email, alumni networks on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Google, or even through telephone conversation. We also feel it's critical that their student workers, they have increased training on how to actually speak to these alumni over the phone. Right now, telephone conversation is a little dwindling, And we find that by having a more personable and more alumni, it'll be able to become better because there's going to be that personal connection between the alumni and between the person on the other end of the line. We also find it's critical that there's a new script developed, so again, in line with the improved telemarketing strategy. What about for increasing transparency? We need to gather this research on who, so that they're able to write thank you letters to the scholarship donors, and also have them put that it is truly them that's writing the letter, and also show them the impact that they made, because that. We also want to identify past donors again to do call to action letters and thank you letters, as well as kind of build a database on who we should invite to certain events. We'll also build a framework for the future featured alumni. So this featured alumni being sent through direct mail or through mass email website as well. So there will be featured alumni as donors and also featured alumni who are leaders within the community. So any alumni who are senior executives within a company, established entrepreneurs, or social entrepreneurs, or anyone who's a great leader within the community. Now, for the gala, we need to research specific logistics. So which caterer should we use? Which venue should we use? And finally, what's the capacity? So we found that the best venue would be one that has a great downtown scenic view of downtown Montreal at night. The best caterer would be a fine dining one between the range of $40 to $70. And also we need to create a relationship with the student clubs. Of course, there is the risk that there's not a proper, we won't have a sufficient budget or enough funds to actually fund the gala. So by partnering up with student clubs, we can ensure that students are involved, because at the end of the day, students will be coming to the gala as well. We also need to identify potential youth education charities. So the charities that we want to invite and partner up with for the gala need to be youth-oriented. And this is simply because it's all about celebrating excellence through education. That is the theme of our gala. So again, it's going to take 0 to 3 months. The budget that we projected was $17,680, and the metrics are we're going to be increasing student awareness. So next step is the execution step, and this is going to last from 4 to 18 months. So for getting to know, you want to, again, follow through with the updating of alumni profiles, that one employee, the data. You want to do the director, so the director of advancement or the director of donations, getting personal with the alumni, so telephone to really just meet up with them for a personal lunch or coffee to get to know them and really develop a relationship with them, one-on-one, face-to-face. We also want to have meet and greets, so like I said, with the director of advancement. We want the scholarship recipients to actually write these letters and sign them, and we also want to mention them and provide a call to action to get the donors to donate again, or have potential donors donate. Then we'll also feature prominent alumni leaders, so again, searching through the database, finding really prominent leaders within the community and getting them to donate and be featured within the newsletter or the website. And then also donation updates, so again, updating the website to make sure it says exactly where the donations are going, have testimonials from students who are benefited positively from the donations. And then finally, for the gala, we're going to be booking the venue, booking the caterer, as well as booking all the capacity and making sure the tickets and any marketing materials are properly printed out. We're also going to identify potential keynote speakers. Now, ideally, we're going to want an alumni who's senior executive as a keynote speaker and have him really show what the impact of the school had. And then finally, we're going to have ticket sales and then work with sponsors for items to be sold, as well as selling tickets. So again, the budget is going to be $109,960, and the metrics will be ticket sales, which we project to be 200. So finally, in evaluating our key metrics, we'd like to thank you for your time, and we really do hope that BSM chooses our strategy because we believe it would be great success.
Would you be able to talk more about the third part of your recommendation?
Yeah. So essentially for the evaluation, compare the metrics that we've established with the actual results. So we're going to be using KPIs, key performance indicators, such as ticket sales and readership rate of the newsletters sent through email, so we can exactly see who's reading the emails and how many people we're reaching. We want to measure effectiveness. And also for the gala, there's going to be a survey printed out on each table for people to fill out to see exactly what they learned and to get more information on the current graduates, people who are students who are about to graduate, and really get a feel for what they felt for the event.
Will you, and if so, how, will you include all the social media campaign, or will you use the social media to communicate?
Social media we did look at. There was around 1,300 likes on your Facebook page. Definitely that is an option that we can use to really get the word out, but we really want to focus on that personal connection. So connecting through emails to our alumni and really getting that word on campus to our current students. So really just focusing on that personal connection as opposed to just shooting out a blast or a tweet or something like that so that they see it on their website or webpage. Just really focusing on that personal connection.
Can you say from the second phase execution, you have a budget of about $100,000, so what is included in that?
So the budget for that would be, again, paid. So all the gala costs we estimated would be around $20,000 per year. So that's $40,000 for both years. And as well, there's going to be the salary for the additional employee who's going to be updated, as well as the framework for the design. And that's where we're going to come from.
Our plan was to sell it up between the students as well as the alumni. So around 60 students focusing on the third and fourth year so they can make those connections at networking events. And then the rest would be to the alumni, ones who are active donors, as well as ones that we've targeted as potential great donors in the future. And then we were going to reserve around special guests, the scholarship winners, the keynote speaker, and the faculty that want to come, so the dean, key players in the faculty that are part of creating this networking event.